All right, welcome back to a very special live edition of Golf Subpar here at the bank in beautiful Hilton Head Island, host of this week's RBC Heritage, and we are about to get zoned in with our friends from Zone Nicotine. All of the people out there are zoned in. We got very special guests, Akshay, Bhatia, U.S. Ryder Cup captain Keegan Bradley. Everybody's about to be zoned in. This is going to be a hell of a show, Sleaze.
This whole place is zoned in. By the way, shout out Zone for putting this on for us, and also this place that we're at, if you're ever down this way, the bank is the name of this joint, and it's beautiful. Thank you very much. Everybody's zoned in. We're all zoned in. And by the way, speaking of sweet stuff that's happening, we're playing golf tomorrow,
Yes,
bud.
we are.
And you know how my sticks got here?
Same way mine
The
did.
only way that they're supposed to. Ship sticks. You know, they don't have to do anything to get them down there. You throw the label on them, they arrive. I took a carry-on down here, avoided all the baggage stuff, which is huge. No luggage, no stress. Straight to the course. White glove service for your clubs and luggage. And right now, lucky for everyone, ShipSticks is offering our listeners 20% off your first shipment when you go to shipsticks.com and use the code SUBPAR20. Go to shipsticks.com and use the code SUBPAR20 to get 20% off your first shipment and save yourself the hassle this golf season. That's SHIPSTICKS.com. Make sure you use the code SUBPAR20 so they know we sent you. It's the only way. Only way.
Well, we've been on quite the heater with our picks so far. My ticket cashed last week.
Good
Corey Connors, top 20. Whoever that was out there hating, suck it. Absolutely. It was an easy cash. You had no idea what you were talking about, and I bet it over at Fanatics because when I bet, I like getting something back even if I lose. That's why I bet with Fanatics Sportsbook. When I place a bet with them, I earn fan cash, win or lose. I can flip fan cash into bonus bets or use it for new team apparel on Fanatics.com. Also, if you're a new customer, you'll get $200 in bonus bets when you sign up and bet $20 or more. Use code SUBPAR to claim it. Download Fanatics Sportsbook and let the fan cash flow. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Connecticut residents call 888-789-7777. Massachusetts residents call 800-327-5050. New York residents call 877-8-HOPE-NY. Maryland residents visit mdgamblinghelp.org. And hopefully you get to our picks before the tournament starts tomorrow. I know this is a special live show on a Wednesday. I went with Patrick Cantlay to top 10 at plus 190. All this guy does is top 10 around Harbortown.
Yeah, he's a machine around this joint. I'm actually joining you in the world of the top 10 bets. I've been living in the top 20 world, which I like. Wyndham let me down last week. He's grounded.
Yeah.
I'll let you know.
I disown you, child.
Moving on to one of the best iron players in the game, which this course is, that's what it's all about around here. I'm going Russell Henley, top 10, plus 220.
All right.
Yeah.
There you have it.
Feel
Patrick
good about
Cantlay,
it.
Russell Henley, hope you get those in before the RBC Heritage starts. But we got to get to our live show. Very special guests, Akshay, Bhatia, and Keegan Bradley joining us live from the bank in Hilton Head Island, sponsored by Zone here on Golf Subpar.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us for a very special edition here of Subpar. With us today, two special guests, two-time winner on the PGA Tour, one of the young rising stars, ripe old age of 23, Akshay Bhatia, and seven-time winner, major champ, notably U.S. Ryder Cup captain, Keegan Bradley is with us. Make a little noise for the folks.
And special shout out to the bank for hosting us here, and Zone, who is our presenting sponsor for this night. Make sure you go over there and check out all the cans over at Zone. But guys, thank you so much for joining us. We actually had no idea y'all are paired together this week at the RBC Heritage.
Yeah, that's I didn't realize we were going to do this together, but it's kind of pretty cool, Maybe it's a
lot of times during Ryder Cup years, the captain can ask to play with certain players, maybe want to check out their game a little bit. Do you think this is a little bit of an audition this week?
No. You don't have to worry about me. You go do your thing. Akshay is one of the rising stars of the tour, one that I love to watch play. He hits a lot of amazing shots, and he doesn't need an audition for me. He's a great player, and I want him to go out there and do his best.
Resume speaks for itself. Let me ask you this, though, Keegan, because clearly, it's a little different with you being Ryder Cup captain this year. The level of, we'll call it butt kissing here. Have you noticed other players like, I never used to talk to that guy, but now all of a sudden he's really interested in me? How much of that's going on?
There's certainly some.
Yeah.
I had one player come and give me a hug that I haven't talked to in 15 years on the tour when it first happened. But, for me personally, I've sort of been in my own bubble my 15 years on tour, and this has sort of forced me out of that bubble, and I've gotten to know players like Akshay and other players that are potentially are going to be on the team, and it's something that I've really enjoyed.
Well, Akshay, I want to ask you about last week. You got, by the way, the Augusta National hoodie on that they do not sell in the merch shop at the Masters. This is right out of the pro shop. But you had a front row seat to Rory McIlroy last week, Thursday and Friday. Can you tell us a little bit about, first off, you were paired with him and Ludwig. So when you found out you were grouped with them, what was that moment like? And then what was it like seeing Rory go about his business on Thursday and Friday?
Yeah, I didn't find out my tee time, I think, until Tuesday or Wednesday. And I heard Shay Knight, who's Victor Hovland's caddy, say, we're at 135. And then I was going to the first tee, and I wasn't ever expecting to be in that group just based off, world ranking and what everyone else wants to see. And so I checked my phone, and all of a sudden I see Rory McIlroy and Ludwig, who, Ludwig I've played with multiple times. But I was like, man, it's the first time I got to play with Rory McIlroy. And, he was playing as good as any. I mean, obviously, the best of the week. I've never seen someone hit a driver that good. He played great the first round and then made a couple doubles. And somehow I beat him the first round, and I was like, man, that guy, he played so freaking good. And you almost feel like, how do I compete with that in a sense? Like, he hits it far, he hits it straight, his wedge play was great. He didn't miss a putt. I think the stat was inside 10 feet on Friday. And, it was really cool for me to see, as he's kind of been the guy of our generation, to finally cap it off. And you could just... It really inspired me and a lot of people, I think, watching that final round.
Yeah, and Keegan, you've played the Masters a bunch of times. Akshay, I believe this is your second time around there. Everyone talks about, I'm always learning. Even guys that have played 10, 12 years, you're always learning. You playing with Rory, I'm curious if you learned anything. And then you played there a bunch of times. Are you still feeling like you're putting pieces together and solving that place?
Yeah, definitely. It's been a frustrating place for me personally, but I think every year that you go, you learn a little something extra. When I first started going to Augusta, I would go with Phil Mickelson a lot, and we would go do these pre-trips, and he would walk me around the course and tell me where you can't hit it. So, for example, you can't miss it left on one. And so he would play, the way he played was, I can't hit it here, I can't miss it there, I have to hit it over here. And that's not really how I play. And I played my first 5, 6, 7 years playing with that sort of mentality, and it really hurt me. You have to learn how to go about your career in the best way that's for you, and that's one of the things that I've learned through the years is when I start looking at these holes and going, okay, if I hit it left, that's a bogey or worse, I end up hitting it over there. So for me, learning to play this course the way you need to play it is important.
And Keegan, you've known Rory McIlroy for a long time. You're a major champion yourself. Watching that back nine on Sunday for you and watching him go through what he was going through, where he hit some of the worst shots you'll ever see him hit, and then he hit a few of the most unbelievable shots you'll ever see. But what was it like for you, being a major champion, watching him try to close that out and complete the career Grand Slam?
Well, I was watching. I was nervous watching. I wasn't playing, and I had this feeling that I don't know if another human being in the golf world has felt that type of pressure ever. I think, all that, most of these guys that have created, got the Grand Slam, they did it on their first or second tries. And, there's people can say all they want about all these other majors. The Masters is the biggest one. And to tick that off, to win that, you're looking at a lifetime of celebration. Forget about the Grand Slam. You win the Masters, you're doing that till you're 85, and you get to enjoy, you get to celebrate the your golf career, and it's something that's really special. And for a player like Rory not to have that is ridiculous. So I'm excited he did.
It's fun for us. Probably wasn't as fun for him. And Akshay, now that you've played the Masters, you played all 4 majors now. Is there one that you kind of got a feel for them, that you feel like, oh, this one I feel like represents my best opportunity? I like U.S. Open golf, or I like Augusta.
I mean, my best finish was at the U.S. Open last year, and so I don't know. Every major venue that we play is so tough, and I really enjoy it. It adds an extra focus for me. Sometimes I feel like, I search for that feeling at certain events, and I really want to figure out the British or the Open. Sorry.
Yeah. You could say British here. It's fine.
Last year, I went over. I felt like, I just need to play my normal game, but then you realize how much different it is. And so I'm excited to really go back. I've heard Portrush is unbelievable, probably one of the best that in the rotation that we play. And so, it's fun just competing in those majors, though. You can just see the intensity. And, last week when I was there were so many guys on Sunday practicing prior to the tournament, which you never see at a tour event. I mean, yesterday I was the last person on the putting green, and it was 4:30. And there, it's just everyone really cares and tries to get, all their work in. And so it's just a lot of fun competing in those events.
And it's crazy to think. I mean, you're 23 years old, but this is your 6th year as a professional. So you're starting to be one of the veterans out there at 23 years old. And I know you're on this guy's radar for Bethpage this year. How much would it mean to you to make the Ryder Cup team?
Yeah, I think obviously it would mean the world to represent, the United States. Anytime you get a chance to do it. I did it in junior golf a couple times, and not making the President's Cup team last year was really tough because I felt like, I did everything I could, and I remember texting Keegan and, everyone just kind of checking in on me. I mean, even Brian Harmon, who I barely talked to, called me and said, you're going to be on plenty of these teams, and Keegan said the same thing, and so it definitely fueled the fire a little bit. I've tried not to think about being on the team this year, just to try and play good golf, and I feel like I'm so young that I think I'll have the opportunities over time, but to be on this team this year where the venue is and with Captain, right here, and getting to know him more, and just kind of being in that group of guys where you get to know everyone a little more. It's definitely difficult at my age because everyone's kind of, known each other from college or whatever it may be. And so
they're old. You can say it.
They're not old. They're just, they got bigger and better things than hanging out with the kids. So
you got to like the sounds of that, Cap. And I want to ask you, what's it like for you? Because, just like Akshay was just saying, you're damn near on the last team. You still have a very good chance of this, the golf you're playing right now. Is it strange to be still attempting to make the team as a player while also knowing, like, no matter what, I'm captain?
It is very strange because I didn't ask for this position. A lot of times you campaign and you really have to work to get into this spot, and it sort of was thrown to me in what I still think is the prime of my career. So, I have this hyper focus of the Ryder Cup and being the best captain I can be, but then also I have to try to switch that off and remember that I still feel like I'm one of the best players in the world, and without being the captain, making this team at Bethpage would, be my number one goal. So, I've had a lot of close misses at Ryder Cups. I was telling somebody the other day, my rookie year, I won a major and another tournament and didn't get picked for the President's Cup team. So it's very difficult to make these teams. And, I've missed out on some before, and I might not pick myself. I might screw myself this time. So we'll see.
Well, you obviously have a lot on your plate between being the captain and playing out here full-time, trying to make the team. But for those that will never know what it's like as a captain, what is something crazy that you never thought you would have to deal with? Like something that's asked about you or something you have to pay attention to as the Ryder Cup captain?
Well, one of the most difficult things that I recently had to do is pick the schedule for the week for us. So you're picking the practice round times 6 months in advance.
Wow.
You're picking the media slots 6 months in advance. You don't know the weather. You don't know the players on the team. You don't know, this person's not feeling well. He's got to go later. So that's stressful because that's an important part of the decision. One of the shirts was a little extreme, I thought, for one of the tournament days. I had to kick that back. I'm going to get in a lot of trouble for mentioning this, but I kicked one of those back. Things that I never would have thought, but it's a day. Before I came here, I had a couple calls. It's every single day. So I feel when I am inside the ropes, I am not the captain. I'm playing, but when I'm outside the ropes, I feel like I have to play that role.
So it's got to be nice when you get inside the ropes, just, hey, let's turn all this off and just focus on golf.
It is. Sometimes it's a relief because, normally I'm so hyper focused on my golf or a swing feel or a shot that I'm nervous about. And like when I leave the course now, I don't think of any of that because I'm worried about, is the bus big enough to fit the team to the course to the thing, and I'm able to shut that off. And then when I get inside the ropes, I can hopefully just be a player.
Before we get back to our interview, a note from the USGA. Golf is more than just a game. It's a community. And whether you're playing a casual round with friends or grinding in a match that's going to the 18th hole, having a handicap index is your key to playing on a level field. With a handicap index, you can track your progress and challenge yourself against golfers of all skill levels, no matter where you play. So why wait? True golfers have a handicap index. Sign up today at usga.org/getahandicap. That's usga.org/getahandicap. Now back to our interview.
Can I share one thing real quick about just how humble and great this guy is right here? So last week, Wednesday, was the par 3 contest. And I don't even know if you remember this, but I was leaving the golf course. I was around the big oak tree there at Augusto. On my way out, I see him and his family leaving. They just finished the par 3 contest. I was like, oh, how'd it go? I mean, I know you're excited to have your kids out there. He's like, oh, it was good. I get home, turn it on. He made a hole-in-one at the par 3 contest. He's like, yeah, it was okay.
Yeah.
I was like, be more humble.
It was, well, thank you.
And you're buying everyone drinks.
This carries over for everyone. Good news.
I'll tell you, I've hit in my career, of all the shots I've ever hit, to win majors, tournaments, whatever it is, I think I'm going to remember that one the most. It was so incredible to be that close to my family in that setting, and then also when you make a hole-in-one on the tour, you have to gather yourself because you got to hit your next shot. At the Masters, you can let it rip. So that was really, really special.
Akshay, let me ask you this, because I can remember when Colt and I found out that Keegan was named Ryder Cup captain. And we were A, excited, but B, I was like, dude, he was like an inch from making the last team. He could very well make this team. What was the reaction from you and like other players? Because I think it was a surprise to at least a lot of us that aren't on the PGA Tour.
I think it's really cool. I think it's a refreshing kind of perspective that Keegan's going to have, because he can relate a lot more to some of the guys, especially a lot of us being in Jupiter, and, he's playing the tour every week. And so I think it's a really refreshing moment. And I think with the venue and where Keegan's from, it's just such a perfect fit. And obviously you can tell how much he cares, like the little things that go a long way for us. And so I'm excited. I think it's going to be a really cool kind of atmosphere to him, for him to represent this year.
The passion won't be a problem. Passion will not be lacking.
It's going to be pretty
Are you at all concerned about what could be with the gallery? I mean, they got a rep up there in New York.
Yeah, they certainly do. I hope they do. I want them that rep. But I like I've been telling the guys, it's going to be difficult for the Europeans to play, but it's going to be difficult for us as well. These are passionate fans. When you don't perform the way they want you to, they're going to let you know it. So, of course, they're going to be on our side and they're going to be going crazy. And they're Bethpage Black to the people of New York it's almost like a church. It's so special to them. It's not Wingfoot. It's not Shinnecock. These exclusively private clubs. These people on Long Island grew up playing there. Their grandparents took them there. Their dad took them there, and they have this history of their life at Bethpage, sleeping in the car, and it means so much to them. And our main goal as a team is to represent Bethpage Black the way they would want us to.
And with that being said, obviously you are going to have a huge home field advantage. But with how well the Europeans are playing right now, I mean, they've won a lot so far this year. Rory McIlroy, Ludwig, Sepp Straka. I mean, Tommy Fleetwood playing great. John Rahm, Tyrrell Hatton. They're loaded right now.
They're loaded.
Any concern at all?
No, I mean, listen, the Ryder Cups are... Both sides are going to have the unbelievable players. And, the Europeans have had a great start to the year, and they have Hall of Famers on their team. But we got some good guys, too. And we got some guys that are rounding into form. A couple of our guys were hurt earlier in the year. They're starting to play great. I like our chances.
You've played on both sides. You've played on the home side and away side. Obviously, the crowd has no effect on what you do as a golfer, but you can feel it. The atmosphere is different, and there's a reason why an away team hasn't won in so long. Can you just explain like the biggest difference between playing at home and away?
The momentum is so extreme. It's just you get on the grounds and there's a buzz. You can feel it. The story I always tell was my first Ryder Cup at Medina. I'm driving into the course. I'm so nervous. I like to describe it as not nervous like you are in sports, but like nervous, like if someone was chasing you with a knife. That's the nervousness. And I'm driving to the course, and you drive by the 17th hole at this Medina, and I was going off at 7:15. It's 4:30 in the morning. It's pitch dark, and I'm driving by the grandstand, and it was completely full. 4:30 in the morning, rocking and loud and cheering, and I'm thinking, best case they see action in 5 hours, and they may not see any. And that's just the energy you get on the range, and it's just going. And I like to describe it as every hole at the Ryder Cup is like the 18th hole of a major, every single one of them. And so that's why you see such passion, and you can let it out a little more in a Ryder Cup. And Bethpage is going to be the most extreme example of that.
Yeah, and Akshay, I know that's, everyone strives to be on this team. It's a big yard, Bethpage. I don't know if that will come into play in terms of the picks and not, but I want to compliment you because I've been paying attention a little bit. A, you've bulked up a bit, and B, I know your ball speed has gone up. I saw you around 180, I believe, at the Players. What are you doing in the gym, and is that like a emphasis for you as you go forward?
Yeah.
Speed-wise.
Yeah, I mean, I think, like I said, playing with Rory last week was like a huge eye-opener because I'm not even slow on the PGA Tour, and I'm still 40 behind him.
Yeah.
And he hits it straight. But yeah, I actually, I started working with Xander, strengths coach, this year. And, I've seen what Xander has done with his body. And, I've just wanted to hit it further. I don't want to be the skinny guy anymore. And so it's been fun. I've really enjoyed kind of, working on my body and, just becoming more and more of a professional athlete. I think your first couple of years, you just try and figure everything out. And now that I've played a longer schedule and I realize, what it takes week in and week out, it's such a monumental thing when you get to weeks like, the Tour Championship or even the Ryder Cup. You need to feel fresh. You can't be drained going into that week. And so it's been fun. I like, hitting it past Xander time to time. And I know Captain and I played the other day at home, and, I was hitting it far sometimes, but it's definitely a nice feeling.
Well, be careful. I didn't want to be the skinny guy either.
Yeah,
What happened? Just be careful.
There were so many, John. I didn't know where to get.
There's a lot there.
Beat you to it.
Yeah.
You mentioned playing at home. You moved to Jupiter, Florida. So many guys live down there. Tell us a little bit about the games you play down there and where you play.
Yeah, I've spent a lot of time with Ricky Fowler. He's kind of helped me out, playing at Grove or Medalist, and I'm at Bears Club where, Keegan's at and I think 20 other guys. So it's been great. I enjoy playing a lot, and I think just being around, a lot more of the guys and just kind of making more relationships and friendships is it's important to me because, out here it's always business and business when we get to the golf course, and when you get home it's, you can be yourself and you can learn about each other. And so, I also love just playing games because I get into that, tournament atmosphere, it feels like, and there's no better feeling than taking money from some of the best players in the world.
It's hard to find some easy money down there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Who are the guys that like to play? Because I feel like you got range guys that like to practice technique, and then you got guys that like to play, gamble, have a game. Who are the best games in Jupiter for the both of you?
I mean, I feel like Daniel Berger plays all the time, and he's
a trend.
He is so fun to play with. I think he just has this energy to, like, I don't care, but I care. And I've played a couple rounds with him, obviously with Cap. I've played with Xander, who loves to play a lot, and Ricky. And so, there's just so many great guys down there that no matter what you're doing, no matter what day it is, you can find someone that will want to go out and just go have some fun.
Is it weird people call you Cap now?
Yeah, it's an adjustment period.
Yeah.
I'm used to it now. But this is what I love about this new generation of guys. They forge these friendships, and they're legitimately friends. These aren't PGA Tour friends. These are go on vacation with the families. And when I first came on tour, I looked at everybody as the enemy. Like, I would make things up in my head. I would think, this guy thinks I stink, or blah, blah, blah. These guys are all buddies, and they root for each other. And it's something that I really, really regret. I wish I could go back and sort of have that mentality, because you're going to live a much happier life. And I spent most all the years doing my own thing, keeping my head down. I felt like being friendly with somebody would be a disadvantage. And I just think this group of guys and the way they go about their careers is so great. It's so refreshing for me to see, and I love it.
As a guy who's been on the PGA Tour for as long as you have, is there, like, I played golf for a while, not near as long as you. Colt played for a long time. I found the grind of, like, just going out and practicing to get harder and harder the longer you were in it. Do you fight that at all, or are you still excited to get up and work out?
I actually think I like preparing more than I like playing now. It's a really bizarre thing. But I will say, for me, being away from the family is really tough. I really like even today, this week, it's my 3rd week on the road. I'm sitting in my room by myself. I'm thinking, like, geez, this is tough. You know, this is the thing now, my point in my career. I remember early in my career, every time I got to a PGA Tour event, I was just so excited. This is my dream. And now my son had his playoff baseball game yesterday. I missed that. Those are the things I get bummed out about more now.
They win?
They lost, and it was ugly.
Did they cover?
They covered.
Okay, perfect. Perfect.
That's enough.
But yeah, I for me, the travel is the stuff that wears on me the most now. I still love playing. I love competing. I like playing with these guys in off weeks, but the travel's tough.
That's why he agreed to do this. He was in his hotel room. He was lonely.
bored as hell.
Uh-huh. This all makes sense
That's right.
now.
That's right.
This will suck, but it won't be as bad as sitting alone.
One last thing before we get to some questions from the audience out there, but TGL, which I think was a huge success the first year, even though y'all didn't win a single match.
It was ugly.
Other than that, tell us a little bit about it. What was your experience like? Are you excited for what's going to be the future of TGL? Akshay, do you have any interest in possibly getting
Expansion, perhaps.
Yes, please. I loved it. You know, we were going to that first match. No one had a clue if this thing was going to work. We could have teed it up, and it was like, this is not working. It's choppy. It doesn't work. And it exceeded all of our expectations. I loved being an athlete where I gave my kids a hug, went to the arena, came back home. I felt like a real athlete for once in my life. Driving up to the arena, parking in my own car. It was really fun. It was fun.
Changing clothes before you go
Changing
to get up.
clothes. Yeah. Being in the locker room with our team right before, even though this was sort of a lighter feel, when the lights come on and you're playing against another player, it gets serious quick. And so when we're in the locker room and it's quiet and we're like, all right, guys, let's get this. I love that. And that's what I enjoyed about it the most. I would have liked to have won one match, but maybe next year.
You got to get a better team. You, Rory.
Rory's just not carrying his
Pretty
weight.
good team. I don't know.
Is Rory on waivers?
Yeah, he's on waivers.
You can win a Masters, but you can't get us a win. Akshay, did you watch much of the TGL and any interest going forward? I'm hearing rumors of an possible expansion.
Yeah, I actually did watch. I mean, I thought it was, really enjoyable, and I think, supporting some of the guys out there who I wanted to win, and gave me something to do, and I actually really enjoyed watching it. I thought, it's pretty interesting how developed golf is getting, and I never have been to the arena, but I've heard nothing but great things of the green moving and the locker room and the gym, and I just see some of the personalities truly come out of some players, and I think it's really cool for people to see, because like I said, out here it's always business, and you try and just keep to yourself, but out there you can just kind of let it loose, and I have enjoyed it. I'm not sure. I would love to do it. I just need to figure out, the schedule wise. But I mean, I feel like I would unleash the beast out there.
I like that.
Yeah.
Maybe a Rory for Akshay, straight up.
Well, Akshay, Tony Finau would fit in very well there.
Yeah.
Keegan, you're a diehard Boston sports fan. We're going to take the Celtics out of the equation here because they're good.
Yeah, they are good.
The rest of them aren't great right now. We got the Red Sox who are 9-10. Boston Bruins just finished last in the Atlantic. Patriots maybe on their way up. Coach Vrabel, very exciting. Who are we most concerned about out of your Boston teams?
Bruins, by far. Bruins. I
traded Marchand away.
That was tough. My son cried when I told him that Marchand was traded. But for me, I need the Patriots to be decent. I don't need them to be the way they were, but for them to be terrible is just awful. Now I know what the root for the Cowboys is like.
Okay.
It's like,
that was
geez.
such a
But
was
I mean,
unnecessary.
we still got the Celtics, but man, the Boston's a Patriot town. So if they're not decent, there's a black cloud. But we're on our way up.
I'll tell you this though, Mike Vrabel, huge fan. Love that guy.
Yeah.
We got to spend some time with him out at Tahoe.
Oh, he's the best.
Y'all got the right man for the job,
Yes,
no doubt
we
about
do.
it. And you are making some nice moves.
Some nice moves, and I keep reading they're not done yet. So we'll see.
We're going to take a little break from our live show to tell you about Callaway and the Odyssey putter. Both of our special guests, Akshay Bhatia and Keegan Bradley, roll the Odyssey putter. And Odyssey isn't just the #1 putter brand. It dominates globally. #1 putter on every major tour. PGA, LPGA, DP World, you name it. It's not a close race. Significantly more tour pros choose Odyssey over the next closest competitor. #1 in worldwide wins. #1 in money earned. Tour pros know performance matters, and they know Odyssey delivers. See what Odyssey can do for you at odysseygolf.com. Now back to the live show.
Are you a UNC fan now? With St. John's doesn't have a football team. Now that Belichick's down there.
I wish Belichick was in the NFL still. That was a bummer. But I'm rooting for him everywhere he goes. Yeah, he'll have them in shape this year. I guarantee it.
Yeah, his girlfriend's taking care of most of the work. She's the brains of the operation.
She dresses like a coach. All right, let's get to a couple fun questions, then we're going to open it up for a few from the audience. Keegan, we're going to stay on the Ryder Cup here. I know you're very close with Michael Jordan and Tom Brady. You can only pick one to give the motivational speech before the Ryder Cup team heads out. Who you choosing?
MJ.
Oh, wow. Think about it a second.
Yeah, I mean, I actually, Medina, I had never met MJ. And Thursday night is, after the opening ceremonies, is when things get really serious. There's no more laughing. You can hear a pin drop in the locker room. And I was sitting on this couch, and MJ came in and gave us a speech. And I remember, like, looking up at him, giving me a speech, and being in just, I couldn't believe I had gotten to this point in my career, that I'm standing in front of my idol, and he's trying to get me motivated. And I'll never forget that moment the rest of my life. I also was terrified that this was happening, but he would be my choice.
You don't have to say it. You can also say no comment. Any chance he'll be up there? Maybe?
Probably a good chance.
Okay.
Oh,
I like hearing that.
okay.
I like hearing that.
There we go. We're one up already.
Yep.
All right, Akshay, I'll start with you. You're getting married in December, I understand. How about a little round of applause for the young man getting married? Congratulations. I'm sure it'll be a beautiful wedding. I would imagine there'll be a number of tour players there. Give me the PGA Tour player you most expect to be completely overserved at your wedding.
That's a good one.
Man,
These guys don't drink. They don't drink at all. They'll be drinking water, I think.
We do.
yeah. I mean, there's only like 2 tour players that are coming. I've never seen Sahith drink, but there is a chance. There's always
If he doesn't
a
do
chance.
it for your wedding, when's he gonna?
Yeah.
What's he saving it for?
Yeah,
The next one.
Dry January.
Yeah, the second one.
Dry January is the next month, so just get it all in, I guess.
Sahith, get video of that if that actually does happen. That'll
Like
be
it.
good. That'll
All
be
right,
good.
Keegan, I believe you're in Happy Gilmore too.
I am.
Okay. Give me who was the best and worst actor out of the tour players you saw on the set of Happy Gilmore 2.
So my part that I'm in is with Jordan Spieth, and I was really nervous as this was really an official movie. Like I don't know what I was expecting, but this was like, whoa, this is different than these stupid little commercials that I shoot. And we had these lines, and I mean, we had to deliver. There was real actors that were depending on us, and I'm trying to, like, I can't look at Jordan, and I'm really, really nervous. And Jordan, we do our first take, and Jordan looks at me, and we both start hysterically laughing. And I was so mad. I said, Jordan, you have to stop. Like, because it was like, we're ruining this whole production. And we ultimately, I think, got it, but definitely Jordan.
Perfect. We finally found something Jordan's not good at.
Didn't you make? Are you in a cameo for the new one, Stick? Is it Stick with
Yes.
Owen Wilson coming up in June? Do you have speaking? Are you speaking in that, or just cameo?
I do. I'm an actor now.
Okay. Yeah.
It was I was on an acting kick there for a second, but it was cool. I get to watch Owen Wilson deliver like the final monologue, and to watch him do that, it was stunning. It was like watching Rory McIlroy hit a drive. It was just different than everybody. It was cool.
What's Adam Sandler like in person?
So Adam Sandler is exactly how you think he is. Literally the nicest, most genuine. He's taking pictures, and I've heard that about him. And then when you meet him, he's like, yeah, he's just a regular guy. He's from New Hampshire. He's a New Englander. So I like him just for that.
There you go. I'll give Akshay one, and we can open it up to the audience after
Oh, no,
this.
I got a couple more. Hold on.
Okay, let me give Akshay one real.
Yeah.
Since we were talking TGL, let's just say you happen to be in TGL next year. Everyone gets their own walk-up song. You're a young, cool dude. I know you got the headphones in. What's the walk-up song for Akshay next year?
Oh, let's see. Well, so every match is on Tuesday, isn't it? Pretty much.
Monday, Tuesday.
Monday or Tuesday. So I
Whatever
think on Tuesday it'd be the song that's like got the club going up on a Tuesday.
I knew you'd have something.
So I think that'd be a pretty fitting one.
Okay.
All right. I like that.
I knew you'd have something.
All right. Well, we've seen a lot of current athletes dabble in the media world, whether it be podcasts, TV. Give me from both of you, current professional golfer that would be the best at TV when they're finished playing.
Max Homa, I'd say.
Ooh. Yeah. I mean, I guess Max, or I feel like you can never go wrong with like Joel Damon. I think
Okay.
most
Two
people
good
would say
answers.
that.
Yeah.
All right,
Patrick Harrington getting a lot of
Patrick Harrington's getting a lot of
nods right now as a potential fresh face.
Yeah,
in
I
the
don't
game.
think he would be very good at going to commercial because he likes to keep talking.
Yeah.
Last one, just a little fun one here. Champions dinner last week obviously gets a lot of talk. Who do you think would serve the worst Champions dinner if someone won the Masters?
The worst champions dinner.
Like Sandy Laos served haggis,
Oof.
which
Yikes.
he's always like number one for the worst.
It's such a horrible question.
I know.
I wouldn't have a clue who
I
that
agree.
would be. How
Some
about
people-
Akshay?
some- yeah.
Akshay, yeah. You
Some
could
people
say
are
me.
cheap. They eat Chipotle every night. I don't know. I love Chipotle, but all right. Well, let's open it up to some questions from the audience. Does
go out with
anybody
a
have a
bang.
question for any of the four of us up here? Walk on up. I'm going to give them my mic because it's a handheld here.
Don't be shy.
It's a simple one, Keegan. What happened to the stash?
It's a good question.
Well,
I was coming with that.
This is what happens when you miss the cut at the Masters. You got to take drastic measures. So miscut, stash is gone.
I heard you were being mistaken for Johnson Wagner, and that's like,
Yeah.
hey, recreate a shot for him.
Keegan from Massachusetts, so we follow you all the time. Just like to know how your aunt's doing, Pat. We
She's-
used to follow her too back in the day.
She's doing great. My Aunt Pat was my idol growing up. She was, I love Tiger Woods and Fred Couples, but my Aunt Pat was my hero. I used to watch her every second of the day. I'd watch her warm up. I'd watch her after the round, and she's my inspiration. She's my hero. Thanks.
Hi, I'm Michelle from New Jersey. I don't have a question. I just wanted to say to you guys, we brought our 5-year-old and our 3-year-old to the tournament today, and they had the best time. They got so many autographs, and I just want to say it's like really refreshing to see professionals just like sign autographs and be with the kids and like just have a great time. So we really appreciate that
Thank
a
you.
lot. And
Thank you.
Yeah.
you guys should really be applauded for that because that's very rare.
Class act.
Thank you.
Class act.
All right, I got a question for both of you. How does it differ from getting prepared to play the Masters to playing with like Bob Does Sports?
It's very different. I mean, you kind of know what to expect with some of the YouTube golf. You just kind of show up and have fun and be goofy, and then when you get to the Masters, it's serious work. So it's definitely a different viewership of the events.
Yeah, Bob Does Sports. Those guys, I'm so proud of them. They've come a long way. I love playing with them. We're trying to figure out. I want to do another show with them. We're going to try, but it is a lot different, a lot less stressful. Put it that way.
Hi, I'm Leela from Chicago. This is for all four of you. Just curious what your favorite courses are that you've ever played.
I'll start out, and it's no surprise. I tell everybody my favorite day in golf is Shadow Creek. I just love the place out in Las Vegas. I know your brother works there, actually. But that place is special to me. It's so much fun. Sleaze and I are actually going to do a little video here in June. It's they put lights up at Shadow Creek, and we're going to go out there and play a little night golf at Shadow Creek, which will be rather entertaining.
What could go wrong?
Nothing at all. We're going to do a little pool party and then play golf. Should go well.
Standard.
I haven't played Oakmont yet, but I think I'm looking forward to that. I've heard nothing but great things about the club and how great the condition is every day, no matter if it's a Monday or the week of the U.S. Open. And so one course I've always wanted to play too is Marion. And so those are the kind of the two golf courses that I always kind of think about when it comes to favorite
Well, if you like bogeys, you're gonna love.
Yeah, you're gonna like both those if you like shooting
Love
80.
that.
My favorite course is Torrey Pines. I love all the West Coast. I love Riviera. I used to say Riviera, but I think Torrey. We played there twice this year because of what happened with the fires, and I just think it's just spectacular.
Yeah, and then mine, like hands down, I've been lucky enough to go up to Pine Valley a couple times with some members, and every time I go, I think I come away liking it more and more. I don't know that there's a better golf. I don't know if there's 18 holes where all 18 are as spectacular as that golf course. You could you could play with 4 guys and say pick your favorite hole, and you'll probably get 4 different answers. I think it's the best golf course in America.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Kelly. I got a question for Keegan. How are you going to manage the golf course tomorrow? Are you going to be all power or a little bit of finesse?
Well, no, at Hilton Head, you gotta really manage the way you place the ball on fairway and the green. So, for instance, the first hole, you can hit it in the fairway on the left and be completely blocked out by the trees in the fairway, and you could say that about probably half the holes. So, you're standing up on those tees, you got to look where the pins are, and then also know. I got to be in the right center of this fairway, or the 15th hole is a par 5. You have to be way up the right side. You're almost better off in the bunker to the right than you are in the left side of the fairway. So it's very strategic, totally different golf course than we normally play.
Nice. Thank you.
Akshay, you send it. He'll play strategic. You just ship.
Hey guys, how we doing? I'm Cam from Augusta, Georgia. I have played this course multiple times. I know y'all are very familiar with it. I just wanted to let y'all know that there is water in front of the first tee box, and y'all need to make a point of emphasis to get over it, because some people like to top it into the water. So how do y'all feel about that first tee shot?
That's good advice.
Now I'm thinking about it.
A couple of my pro-am partners actually hit it in that pond today. Yeah, one of them didn't make it there. So
There you go.
The book, it's a 42
Yeah.
yard
It's a
catch.
tough carry.
Yeah.
42 yards.
yeah.
I think you'll be fine, guys.
Thanks, y'all.
Hey guys, Chris and Alex from Detroit. We're members of Detroit Golf Club. Akshay, we would just want to make sure you're going to come back next year to take the trophy.
Yeah, I definitely want some redemption there. So, hopefully I can make it back. And I love that golf course. It's very classic, and the crowds were behind me that whole week. And so I hope to make it back if the schedule works.
Love it. If not, Dan Campbell will eat you.
Hey guys, this is Justin from Connecticut. Similar to them, I actually work at Travelers, so work the tournament. Keegan, big fan. Hope to have you back. Just wanted to ask, what do you guys think of the whole elevated tournaments? I think this is the first or second year of this. Any difference that you guys kind of go into preparing? Any different vibes that you guys go in? How's that been?
Yeah, I mean the tour, these events are really difficult. Even with no cut, like I feel a real difference in the scores when I play in one and when I don't. You really have to be on top of it at these elevated events. They're difficult. The courses are normally really hard, and the fields are just incredible. It's basically close to a major every week. And your year really comes down to how you play in these events because of how many FedEx Cup points are available. So you really want to be ready to go. You got to be ready to go right from the first round at these events.
Yeah, I would say the same thing. I think it is definitely nice not having a cut, because you feel like even if you make a mistake, you can still bounce back. Last year, I started with a double on the first hole here, and still ended up finishing like 18th or 17th. And so,
$300 grand.
made a lot of cash. But it is so important. I mean, the FedEx Cup points in these events are monumental to the season, and so, it truly gets your attention a little more, and I think definitely more players want it. Because obviously you make a lot more money, which is nice, but the points are huge for the end of the year. So,
All right, last one.
Keegan, this is for you. My name's Chandler. I'm from Vermont. What's your favorite course besides Woodstock? And also, I grew up with Travis Russell, who you played with a lot.
Nice. Yeah, my favorite course in Vermont. I really like to play Queechee, which I kind of in the same town I grew up in. But my dad was a head pro at a course called Crown Point, and then Haystack, which is in southern Vermont. But seasons were very short. But my in-laws still live in Vermont. We still go every now and then. I love it.
And go Pats.
Yes.
Thank you. Jesse from D.C. It's questions involve live golf. So Nick Dunlap had won 2 tournaments since January 1st, 2024 on the PGA Tour. And Bryson has won no tournaments during that same time period. Some would say it's easier to win on the PGA Tour than live. What would you guys say?
Peter.
Who wants it?
I think they're both very difficult to win on.
Yeah, I think
Politically
both,
correct.
I think they're both difficult. They're both fields are incredible. I think at any level, I even think when I played a year on the Hooters tour and on the mini tours, and it was insanely difficult to win on that tour. So I think any level that you're at, any tournament you're at with professionals is difficult.
Would you guys consider a move to live if it made sense for you?
This'll.
No, I'm a PGA Tour player. I like where I'm at, but I have a lot of really close friends on Live, and the Live has been interesting for all of us. But I'm really happy that the guys that left are making a nice living, providing for their families. I have no ill will towards any of them, and I root for them every week.
Yeah, I would say I don't have any plans to leave. I've dreamed about playing on the PGA Tour, and I definitely love the grind of trying to just hash it out here when it's making a cut or trying to get a good finish. And I've played with so many of my idols already, and so I have no plans. And I love events like these, like Hilton Head. It's such a iconic event, iconic golf course, and it's got a really good feel for us. So I enjoy the kind of the traditional golf a little more.
Hey,
All right, last one.
Ben from Connecticut. I see this question on Twitter sometimes. I just want to know your answer. If you could have one mulligan in your career, what would it be?
You go.
Mine would definitely be the putt at Rocket Mortgage last year. I missed a 4-footer to get into a playoff, which was pretty tough because I feel like if I would have gotten to a playoff, I think I would have had a good chance. And so that was definitely a heartbreaking moment for me, but it's all as well.
For me, a couple of years ago, I needed a birdie on the 18th hole of Sony to win the tournament, and I hit my drive into the rough. And I think of all the shots I've hit in my career, that's the one I think about the most. If I could have put that ball in the fairway, I probably would have won. So that would be mine.
All right, awesome stuff. Let's give it up for our sponsor, Zone, Akshay, Bhatia, Captain Keegan, Bradley. Y'all have been awesome. Thank you so much for coming out. Thank you, guys.
That special live interview was brought to you by Enterprise Mobility. The road to opportunity is often the road overlooked. That's why Enterprise Mobility offers new roads to help drive your business forward. With mobility solutions like fleet management, flexible truck rental, and an unmatched global network, they can help your business find the right solutions. Their mobility experts can find smarter ways to scale your business so you're not just growing bigger, you're getting bigger. The more ways we all have to move forward, the further we'll all go. Find your road at enterprisemobility.com.
Man, that was a lot of fun. Sitting down with Keegan and Akshay. I had no idea when I asked them both to come here that they were actually paired together Thursday and Friday at the RBC Heritage. But Keegan, man, so cool. Everything he's got on his plate. Ryder Cup captain, trying to make the team and also play on the PGA Tour. So cool to him sit down with us. And then Akshay, this kid just keeps getting better and better. I mean, he's a 23-year-old veteran.
6 year playing pro, 23. Wow. Still can't rent a car, by the way. Enterprise Mobility, not for you, Akshay, unless you want to get a U-Haul. That's the only thing you can rent. But, dude, he's spectacular. He's coming into it. He's fighting for the Ryder Cup. I love when you said, like, hey, this is it. Sometimes Ryder Cup captains get to pick who they want to play with. Keegan put that to bed quickly, by the way. But it is interesting to have, like, a guy who's vying for a spot here next to the captain. And also to hear Keegan talk about, I mean, dude, he's plenty good enough to go make this team and go play. Just want to elevate, signature event, playoff event last year at Castle Pines. He already played great at Bay Hill earlier this year. Like, he could do it, but to also know, like, your captain is just kind of like a strange dynamic. He's the only guy I can think of that's ever really been that realistic of a chance to be a player, having already been named captain.
I love the MJ comment, too. Who do you want to give the pregame speech? MJ, not even questioning, putting Tom Brady to the side. The story he shared about his first Ryder Cup with MJ, so cool, man. I got chills.
Can I throw one in as maybe in case MJ's unavailable? We get Jameis Winston in the house.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Captain JMO.
Yep.
I like that.
But, man, that was so much fun sitting down with him. Can't thank everyone who came out. We had an awesome crowd here tonight. The bank was an awesome host. Zone Nicotine, giving dollar cans away, had the simulator up. Awesome time. Thanks so much for listening. Sleaze, you got one more thing before we get out of here.
A warning. This product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical. Underage sale is prohibited. Introducing Zone Nicotine Pouches, the perfect balance of unparalleled comfort, longer-lasting flavor, and nicotine that satisfies. Whether you're zoning in for an important putt or zoning out after a tough day at work, Zone gets you there faster and keeps you there longer. Available in 7 flavors and in 6 and 9 milligram strengths. Find Zone at zonepouches.com and retailers near you. Own your Zone with Zone Nicotine Pouches. That does it for us. Thank you all so much for listening. You're the best in the game. We love you. We'll see you next week on Golf Subpar.